I'm Barry Nobles. Today we're at High Springs BMX for a coaching clinic. As we hit the national series, I'm on the road a lot, going to races, so might as well hit tracks along the way and spread some knowledge.
Okay, what got you into BMX? How did you even get into this kind of stuff?
I don't know if I remember much of a life before BMX. I've been riding since I was 3 years old. I started racing in the late 80s. Track shut down, continued to ride my bike until I was about 10 years old, and I started up again in 98 at Oak Mountain BMX. Yep, currently the 2023 Masters World Champion.
How do you think things like this help the community? I know this, it's such a small town, so for you to come here is just such an honor for all of us to have you here to learn from you, because we want to be like you, we want to get better. So how does stuff like this help the community, help kids?
I think a track like this in a small town, BMX is super underrated in so many small towns, and with BMX and soccer and football fields always kind of taking over, BMX tracks never really get seen, but the numbers are huge in BMX. Not every kid is cut out for the team sports, and this is such an individual sport. You get out there, it's on your own time. You can either be super competitive and try to go to the Olympics one day, or just be out here just riding bikes, having fun with mom and dad. The whole family can get out here and ride.
You do other stuff too, mountain biking, stuff like that. What else do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite the two-wheeled enthusiast between riding Harleys, racing Harleys on flat track, doing mountain bikes. I did X Games for BMX freestyle, and then obviously racing is my main thing, but I just like to experience everything two wheels, so I don't really like to single myself just to one discipline. I want to experience it all.
So do you race on those other things competitively?
I used to. I did the mountain bike, the Crankworks mountain bike series super competitively. Yeah, I mean, I do. I've competed in a lot of different things, but BMX is where it started, and I'm sure BMX racing is where I'll retire from two wheels. I don't know if retire is the right word, as I'll always be riding, but
what would you say to future riders that or even people who know nothing about BMX? What would you say to them to maybe get them jump started?
Just start, just get out to the track. I mean, tracks are sometimes intimidating. This track out here, High Springs, this is such a great track for beginner riders and the pro level riders. There's a lot of tracks that are a lot bigger and look intimidating, but you just got to start. Every track, especially here in Florida, we got some of the best tracks in the entire country, so all of them are well made. You can roll over everything, and it's pretty safe as long as you're staying within your limits. You can push it as hard as you can. You don't have to go jump the big gap jumps, and you can go out here and do pump lap races where you don't pedal at all. So as scary as some of these tracks may seem, BMX is pretty safe as long as you're staying within your boundaries.
Do you travel all over doing these clinics, or?
I mainly travel for the national series. Between traveling for the national series and doing clinics and raising a family, and it adds up a lot, so I try to do it all together. As we make a trip for the national series, I like to hit tracks like this along the way. That way I'm already on the road, might as well hit these local tracks that don't really have a pro appearance.
That is super inspiring, and I am just so appreciative of you giving up all your time like that to travel around, and really, that's so inspiring just to show all these future people that want to do this kind of stuff. And giving up your time. I think time is the most precious thing that people don't really understand, they don't get back. And I find it really cool that you get to travel around with your family too.
It's fun, man.
I'm a musician, so one day I'm hoping I get to travel around with my music.
Nice.
What would you say to the locals to keep them moving, keep their passion going?
I mean, well, that kind of ties into your last question. The reason I do it is because I was one of these kids that just started. I was in a small town in Alabama. I didn't have a pro presence nearby. The fastest guy at my track was maybe just a couple years older than me and was by far nowhere near a pro. So, I mean, you just got to get out there and start. Anybody can get up there to be a world champion. Again, I started small town BMX. My local track was an hour away. I had no idea about racing. I just loved to ride my bike. Here we are 25 years later. I'm still doing as a living, world champion, multiple national champion, and just if the passion is there and the love for it is there, you can conquer anything.
That one question: how did you end up with your nickname? I meant to ask you.
You wanted to know
I'm curious. How do you end up with the nickname, the Alabama Slammer?
I honestly don't even know. I did. I mean, I got that probably 15 years ago. I think they just started calling me Alabama Slammer, and to be honest, at the beginning, I wasn't really a fan of it, just being young. And now that I've gotten older, matured, that's who I am now, and I love every bit of it. You can find me on all social platforms, Barry Nobles 95. Stay tilted.